Thank you,
Thank you,
snowboarding.
snowboarding.
Hey friends, how are you? My name is Chris Cracknell. You are listening to Thank You Snowboarding, the podcast that uncovers all aspects of the UK snowboarding culture, from the history of our forefathers hand building boards in Scotland and in other parts of the country, as it turns out, to our current crop of young shredders who are all eyes are on with the Olympics coming up, the Olympics in Italy next month. And we do this with the kind support of our good friends at the Snowboard Asylum, who have been looking after snowboarders since the beginning in this country, and so it feels nice that they're looking after us as well. So how you doing out there? Hope you survived that cold snap that we had. Maybe you're still in the cold snap, but it's certainly got warmer down here in Brighton. We also did get the cold, but we didn't get any snow, unfortunately. Well, we got a slight dusting, but nothing usable. I saw that clip of Tim Warwood up in the Midlands, in Tamworth, out on his shred sled snow skate. Fair play to him. I got sent some clips of people shredding up in the hills in Wales. So yeah, if you've got your shred on, when was it? I don't even know what day of the week it is when I'm recording this. Yeah, if you got your shred on last week in the UK, then please do send clips. You can DM them to me on Thank You Snowboarding Podcast on Instagram, and I'll share them again, because I just think it's glorious. Like, the real enough snow doesn't happen that common enough. I mean, even in Scotland, really, to make it doable to actually get your board out and go shredding properly. And I love to see it. It's such a different kind of landscape. So yeah, if you survived and you're all good and you got some shred on, then I salute you very, very much. On to this week's episode. Before I ramble on too much, that's what the end's for. This week is with a girl called Hannah Duncalf. She is a seasonaire in Tignes. She does a lot of work up in Tignes. She now lives down in, I think, Saint-Foy or somewhere like that. And I was introduced to her by John of Dragon Lodge, who had an episode last season, and he is a very good barometer of interesting stories and who to speak to. And he introduced me to Hannah and just said, you should speak to her. And I took John on his word, and we sat down with Hannah and had a really interesting conversation about what life is like as a seasonaire now. Obviously, all the changes with Brexit and like the expense of living in a ski resort and how that might be pushing people out and all these sort of things. And I wanted to show, as well as like the heroes of British snowboarding, you know, like our younger generation who are, you know, might be going to the Olympics, street riders like Mia Langridge, and, you know, the legends like Johnny Weeks, Ed Lee, people like that. I wanted to show some of the kind of everyday folk who are doing seasons, because I think that is such a big part of the culture, is British people moving to the mountains and making it their life. And there's a strong, and I certainly know about the kind of seasonaire community in that area, or at least I did, because I was part of it for a while. So yeah, I was really fascinated to sit down with Hannah and hear her story, which is really interesting. There's also talk of an avalanche. If that's triggering for you, you might want to fast forward through that bit. It's quite horrific. And yeah, then when we finished the interview, we went for a shred, a whole crew of us, and it turned out to be a really good day. I think we mentioned that the weather looks a bit pony in the when we're talking about how long we've got and when we're going up, and it actually turned out to be a really, really good day. So high fives all round, really. So let's go. This is Hannah Duncalf from Tignes in the Dragon Lodge. Let's go.
Not in a massive hurry.
I know, yeah.
Not really.
You know, like riding with the force. Just sort of takes it out of you, and if it's like, well, if it's going to clear up later, there's no point.
Yeah, no, yeah, so however long it takes is fine with me. So
I know literally nothing about you.
Okay. Good start.
But what I am interested in is people who are making their lives out here.
Yeah.
And what that looks like.
Yeah.
I came over to Val in 93, 94 to do my first season.
Yeah.
Straight after A-levels. And then sort of to and fro. Some seasons it sort of worked, some seasons it didn't, and you'd sort of turn up and not find something and then just be like, oh shit, I've run out of money, I've got to go home. And then when a lot of people started working in the summer and then doing seasons like sponsored riders and stuff, then that became a thing, and that was easy to do because I could work in the summer and then come over here in the winter and not work, just save up. And then we started a chalet company down in Bourg.
Yeah.
And I'm aware that my life in seasons wasn't necessarily similar to other people who come out, we lived down in Bourg because it was so cheap.
Yeah.
And you could save up and just come in here and spend the winter not working.
Yeah, I think that's not really the case anymore.
No. So what I'm trying to portray is I think people should do seasons.
Yeah.
I think doing a season, especially if you like skiing or snowboarding, is
the best.
To have the whole winter.
Yeah.
To like indulge yourself and to get all the different conditions and to meet all the people.
Yeah.
I think it's such a joyous thing that everyone should do.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But what I don't know is how people are doing it.
How people do it now.
And that's what I want to try and get to by talking to some sort of season of people, who you wouldn't know about.
Yeah.
But who create the community out in these places.
I think that's a nice thing is there's so much behind the scenes, isn't there? And there's people who empty the bins and turn the lifts on at the start of the season. And, there's all of that behind the scenes stuff, which if they weren't there, it wouldn't be happening and doing a season wouldn't exist.
So what do you do out here? I think you do multiple things.
I do, many different things. I'm kind of primarily a yoga teacher. I'm also a massage therapist, and that's kind of possibly becoming more lucrative anyway than yoga.
Right.
And I work with Neil McNair. I do basically all the crappy jobs that he doesn't want to do. All his admin, basically.
Does his admin.
Do his admin, do his books, do his bits and bobs for that, which is good. And then, kind of like other odd jobs. I'm freelance and self-employed, so I just kind of do whatever comes my way, really. But primarily yoga and massage.
You mentioned you're doing a photo shoot or something.
Yeah, just been working on a photo shoot.
What's that, and how did you get involved in that?
That's something, I've done it for years. Started off, it's for a British brand. They come out every year to shoot all their winter stuff at the start of the season. And I started off like modelling for it because they wanted, rather than like agency models, they wanted people who are comfortable on the mountain, who, look a bit more natural in an alpine environment than someone who's just come from an agency in London. And then now, that was, I don't know, probably about 6 or 7 years ago it started. And then now I do like the producing of it, basically. Okay. So setting it all up, making sure they have everything they need. They want to shoot a certain shot, figuring out where they can go and do it. And then now I've got 7 boxes of their clothes to sort through and give to people or take to charity. And just kind of odd things. Because I'm self-employed, I do just kind of take whatever work I can get.
You're adaptable.
I'm adaptable, yeah. But my main thing is I teach yoga and I do massage, and I help people to stay fit and healthy, I guess, throughout the winter.
That's a very necessary job.
Yeah.
What brought you to Tignes in particular?
Tignes in particular, I did my first ever season not in Tignes, I did it in the Maurienne Valley. So like when you get to Albertville, instead of going to the Tarentaise where there's like Bourg,
You head down to the Fréjus tunnel.
Exactly, yeah. In a tiny little resort there. And it was when I was at uni.
Right.
I did languages at uni. And part of my year abroad, you did like your third year in the countries of the languages you were studying. And I went and got a job in France, and it was actually my mum's idea. She was like, why don't you go and work in a ski resort? And I was like, that's genius. Why didn't I think of that? Went and worked in a hotel.
What's interesting there is that Neil McNair's mum said, why don't you go and do a
Really?
season? Yeah.
How funny. Yeah, my mum probably regrets it now. 20 years on.
She doesn't see as often as
Still
she'd like.
here. Yeah. So I went and did that on my mum's whim. Worked in a hotel, and I was like, what's this life hack? Why is not everybody doing this? This is the best.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, 20.
How did you
21.
find out about that job in particular, or where to go, or were you just open to anything?
I think I just Googled. Was there Google then? I think there was. I must
20
have
years
just,
ago.
Yeah.
Just about.
Googled. I had a few odd job interviews, and because I had like one term, so I think I did like December till, it would have been like the perfect for a winter season, like December till Easter or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I was just, my mind was blown. I was like, I can't believe you can do this. This is amazing. I'm getting paid I would ski back then. I used to ski. And I was like, just getting paid to like sit on a reception desk a few hours a day and go skiing every day. I was like, this is insane. And then I didn't want to go back to uni, didn't want to finish my degree. But again, mum was like, finish your degree. Come on, you've got this.
What did you do your
far.
degree in then? Languages?
I did French and Russian.
French and Russian?
Yeah, after like living the dream, doing a ski season in France, I went to St. Petersburg for 3 months,
All right.
which was quite eye-opening.
Tell me about that. Like, what were you doing there and
in
St. Petersburg?
In St. Petersburg. So quite different. When you went to France, it was do whatever it was pre-Brexit, obviously, so you could work, you could study, you could do whatever you wanted, really. Russia was a bit of a different kettle of fish. It was you had to just be enrolled in a university.
Right.
And so what was like, when would it have been? 20-ish years ago. So it was, Putin was bad, but he wasn't like really
Hadn't
bad.
gone full send.
Hadn't gone full send bad by that time. So it was, we just lived in this like big like Soviet block of like student accommodation, drank loads of vodka, and went to university. And
I mean, the impression that you get of sort of life in Russia is it's very grey, very cold.
yeah, St. Petersburg is very cold. Parts of it aren't very grey. They've got, the old, like the Orthodox churches with the kind of spires and stuff. That's like, they're beautiful. There's a lot of really beautiful buildings around St. Petersburg because that was a bit more Renaissance-y rather than like full send Soviet. But then like where we lived kind of out the city, and it was just these like grey blocks of like huge buildings. Nobody smiles.
Really?
Nobody
I
smiles.
was about to say, were the people like warm and...
They're not unfriendly. That's just their culture. They don't smile. They don't say please and thank you. They don't say hello.
Right.
It's just direct.
Just boiled down to the necessities.
Yeah, exactly. Met some really nice Russian people, some pretty scary Russian people. It was an experience, and I didn't want to go because I'd just done a season. I was like, I just want to stay in the Alps.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad now that I did, because it was an incredible experience, and I'll probably never go to Russia again because of how it is now. You know, it's something that I don't think nowadays, if you studied Russian, you wouldn't be allowed to go there. I don't think it's safe. So, yeah.
How have you not ended up in like Courchevel? Surely.
It's not quite my vibe. In fact, so I finished uni.
Yeah.
Finished uni, did my final year, but managed to like sneak in a few basically over Christmas and February and Easter. I just wasn't bothered about studying anymore. I was like, I just want to go skiing. So I just got these like short-term jobs and went out to the Alps again, like in my final year. And then as soon as I finished, I was like, well, I'm going to go and do another season, because why would I not?
Yeah.
It's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
And I ended up working, after a few years, ended up working at the ESF, you know, the ski school.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I spoke Russian. Because back in the day then, like, when would it have been, like 2010s? And that's when the Russians were like all over the Alps. So there was loads in Tignes. So I used to speak a bit of Russian there. And then they kind of all got booted out and they didn't need me for that anymore. But I worked there for a long time. I worked there for like 12 years. So
that's quite interesting, because the ESF, and this is probably a bit of an outdated opinion, but it was always felt as if like the ESF was a bit of a closed shop.
Yeah.
You know, we don't welcome in instructors from around the world. It's, you know, you got to beat the local guy at a downhill or something on skis to even contemplate the idea that you're going to work for us.
So
I guess that's softened over the years.
Definitely. And I'd say, like, certainly here in Tignes, it's such an international place, and there's a huge British community. And like, I don't know the figures, but it's got to be like 40% of your tourists are British.
Yeah.
So they're a lot more open than that kind of old school mentality of, we hate the Brits, we don't want Brits, you know. So I eventually started working there and had a great time.
When did you start calling? Were you here just in the winters and going back to the UK in the summers, or were you sort of all in quite early on?
No, I was, from when I came to Tignes, I've pretty much been here the whole time since then, bar 1 year. Me and my partner went travelling for a year. Apart from that, I've pretty much been here like winter and summer. I don't think we answered that question. Did you come here because Tignes specifically? Yes. Because of a job? Went off topic. So I finished university and I was like, right, need to get a job. And I think by that time, you know, like you were saying, you just turn up in Bourg, find somewhere to live, maybe get a job. Like, that wasn't really the case anymore, because things like accommodation have just progressively got like more and more expensive, until now when it's pretty much unaffordable to do a season in that traditional way, you know. It was becoming harder to find somewhere to live and things like that. So I took a job with a tour op.
Which one?
Mark Warner.
Oof.
Yeah.
Good for summers though, right?
I didn't do summers with them. No. Got the old £50 a week pay package.
Amazing. Lift pass, food, accommodation.
Exactly.
Like 10 of you in a tiny room or whatever.
Yeah. They don't know they're born these days, seasonaires. They get like proper French pay. And you're like, in my day, £50 a week. I did that. Had a bit of a funny few seasons. I had like a couple of injuries and stuff. Because I was skiing. All I wanted to do was ski.
Yeah.
And I had like bust my knee. And I was like, well, what do I do now? didn't know what to do with myself if I wasn't skiing. And then that's kind of how I got into yoga, because I was like, right, I'm going to crack up if I can't be on the mountain. So I got like more into yoga and mindfulness and things like that. And that's kind of how that side of it developed. And then, so I came to Tignes because of the job with the tour up, basically.
And was that you were placed here and that was...
Yeah, that was it. It was, you've got a job in this hotel in Tignes and you'll live here. And then, came, did that, and Tignes amazing. It's awesome, and made so many friends and just a really lovely community. And it's good from kind of a doing seasons perspective in terms of it's a really long season. You know, we were saying Les Arcs don't open till next week. Tignes been open for 2 weeks already. So you get a good long winter from like November through till end of April, beginning of May. So like work-wise, it's pretty good. And there was summer opportunities. And ended up.
You're still here?
Still here. Well, I live in Sainte-Foy now, but in the valley. So.
What precipitated the move to Sainte-Foy?
House prices in Tignes. No, I think during COVID, perhaps, because was here the 2 COVID winters when it didn't open, and I kind of had this realization that I actually love like peace and quiet, and something to do with age probably as well.
You'll be getting home to draw your curtains soon.
Yeah, exactly. I won't be driving in the dark. Bugger that. How did the move to Sainte-Foy came about? Because I'd been working in Sainte-Foy with Jenny Jones. She'd had a backcountry course there, and I was doing the yoga for it. So I was riding there every day. I think it wouldn't have been the first time I'd ridden there, but it was the first time I'd spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Have you ridden there?
Yeah, so it's funny, isn't it? Because obviously I lived in Bourg, you get the Flint up to Les Arcs, and, you know, Will's up here in Tignes.
Yeah.
You know, we hardly ever saw each other just because you're on your home turf, you've got your pass, and you just think, well, I know where everything is up there. I know where the conditions are good. So saying that, like, I do know Sainte-Foy, and I do know how good it can be. Like, I've had some great days up there, but it's never been like
it's not been a go-to.
It's not like, oh, why don't we just go up there? Like, you go up there if you're going to hike the Foglietta, or one of the best days on a board. I'll shout out Stephen Fee Harwood here, because we got it on a Saturday. Because we were working. I don't even know if we were working. I don't know if we had the chalet then. But certainly, maybe not. Maybe it was just the first couple of seasons. I don't know. Anyway, but we went up there on a Saturday, so there was nobody. And they opened the top lift, and we had like 3 laps of that front face.
So good.
Before anyone else was even on the mountain.
It's insane. It's like going back in time riding there.
But I mean, it's still 3 lifts or 4 now?
4 now.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Sam. It's been a while.
Don't do us down. 4 lifts. And like a busy day there is your average, like, Saturday in January here.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So I had this like week of riding there. And I just love it. I love the quietness. It's just such a different feel. Like, I love Tignes, don't get me wrong, but it does feel a bit, it's like Ski Factory, you know? Yeah. It's like, get them in, get them spending money.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't, it's very much more relaxed.
Has that increased over time? Because Tignes was kind of like Valdezer's scruffy neighbour when I was sort of around.
It's changed. Even in the time I've been here, it's changed a lot. You can see all the construction.
I mean, if you measure it in buildings clad in timber, and stone as opposed to kind of white render and everything. You can see that a lot has changed.
A lot's changed, and any building site you'll see now is a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
So it's snowshore. It's, you know, so it's going to be. It's if you're investing in skiing, you're going to invest up here, aren't you? So
yeah.
Yeah. So Saint-Foy, spent this week there, like absolutely loved it. Following week, I was like, oh, I'm going to go for a walk in Saint-Foy. Really like it. And saw this for sale sign. We'd been looking to buy somewhere, couldn't afford anything in Tignes because it's mental. Saw this flat, and we're just like, let's move to Saint-Foy. And I love it. I feel really lucky that I'm still very much like between Tignes and Saint-Foy. I feel like if I just rode down there all winter, the 4 lifts might get a bit.
Yeah, like it's good when it's good, but it could probably the sheen could wear off if you're just riding.
If you just ride in
days or whatever.
Yeah, and it's north facing, so if it's not snowed in a couple of weeks, it's pretty hard, pretty icy. We're very lucky that we are able to kind of dip between the two and find this nice balance of like early season riding in Tignes, late season riding in Tignes, but then able to just be like, oh, let's have a like sneaky little folietta. Or
how did you get involved with Jenny Jones and her workshops?
I think just through mutual friends, really. So I started teaching yoga nearly 10 years ago, alongside like my day job. And then Jenny's workshops, what's nice about them is they're very like holistic and it's not just like, let's go snowboarding all day and then drink beer and like keep doing that.
Which is pretty much what the camp that we're running in March is going to be. But
there's a time and a place for that too, isn't there? That sounds fun though. So Jenny will have she has her sports psychologist comes. Right. I'm sure she's spoken to you about it, I'm sure.
Actually, we didn't cover her camps that much when I interviewed her. There was a lot of other things. We kind of got stuck on the Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I think I didn't want to get stuck on the Olympics because she's obviously probably talked that before.
But it's pretty interesting.
It is absolutely fascinating. And we tried to sort of dig into places that other people hadn't gone to.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we had the time to do it. So
yeah,
so we didn't really talk about her workshops that much, actually.
Yeah. No, they're really cool. So she has, sports psychologist who was her sports psychologist when she was competing, who's lovely.
I mean, she was one of the first, I think she was one of the first people to get one.
Really? I think she said
certainly
that on the podcast.
Certainly in the sort of British snowboarding and you know, everyone was just sort of doing it on their own, and you're expected to deal with that stuff,
managing it,
and just work it out. And she was actually like, I need some help.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah,
really cool. So there's Louise, and then either me or Blakey. Do you know Blakey?
No.
He's like a yoga teacher and fitness person. What's the word for that? Personal trainer-y type person. Who'll come and do like a bit of yoga before, a bit of yoga after, which is just really important, I think, for your body and
increasingly so as we all get a bit older.
Exactly. It's only downhill from here, isn't it?
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And Jenny reached out, can't remember, quite a while ago, and was just like, I need someone to teach yoga on one of my camps. Are you available? And I was like, yep. So done a couple in Saint-Foy, went over to Grimentz in Switzerland.
I've heard that place is good.
Really cool. Really nice.
So do you get involved in the go riding with people and everything as well?
Yeah,
so it's all kind of everyone.
Yeah, so it's like whole crew. Really nice, supportive, inclusive, really, holistic and wholesome, I would say.
Wholesome. What has snowboarding become?
Yeah. wholesome and
used
holistic.
To be anti-establishment,
like,
fuck you. But that's a good point. Like, when did you switch from skiing to snowboarding, and why?
Well, 10-ish years ago. I learnt snowboard when I was younger.
Right.
And I don't know why I chose skiing. I don't know why. Just leaned towards skiing, perhaps just because it was more popular.
Did you do sort of dry slope lessons and all that kind of stuff?
We used to ski as a family when we were kids.
Right.
We were really lucky. Like, my parents they've got like a little studio in Flen, over in Grand Massif, which they actually bought the year I was born. So I've been really lucky to be in the mountains pretty much every year of my life since I was wee.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Bolton.
Okay.
Greater Manchester. So hence don't live there anymore. No, it's all right. It's all right, but it's not quite this, is it? Yeah. So I learnt to ski as a kid, learnt to snowboard, I don't know, as like a teenager maybe, but in like ski boots.
In the mountains, though.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, hard boots and then like clippy bindings.
Right.
And
because I mean, I learnt in ski boots and hard bindings, but that was because it was like 1990 or something, and there just wasn't the kit available.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that you were still.
Yeah, that would have
still
been
a thing in.
Would have been the 90s.
Yeah,
I think.
even so. I think that's.
But yeah, and then the original step-ons. You know, the ones with the
the clickers and
clicky things on the side. I'd be like, wow. But then went back to skiing. I don't know why. And then it was when I was out here in Tignes, and I had like a big accident that was a bit of a turning point in life in general.
Do you want to talk about that?
I can, if it's interesting.
Well, I think it is interesting because people do get hurt doing this stuff, and I don't think we've really talked to anyone about, sort of serious injuries.
I mean, the actual injuries weren't serious, but I think the circumstances of it were quite, I don't know, scary. I was in an avalanche.
Okay.
And I had, which was fine. I was fine. It could have been a lot worse. I had to get winched off the mountain by a helicopter. So they basically put like a kind of belt under your arms and then winch you up into a like hovering helicopter. But obviously when it happened at the time, I was just in total shock. I just like hurtled down a mountain.
Can we kind of set the scene a bit to give context? Because I think it's important for people to understand that even people who know where they are, what they're doing, can end up in these situations.
Absolutely.
And that sometimes you just don't know.
You just don't know.
So who are you with? Like, what was the conditions like? What time of year?
So it was between Christmas and New Year.
So quite early on.
Early on. And it was one of those days when it's been dumping for days. And the like final day of the storm where it's like just starting to clear and you get these like pockets of light. And this was like, I don't know how many seasons I'd done by then, done a few. I just like frothed on skiing, just loved it. So like as soon as when I was working in the office at the ski school, as soon as I got a break, I was like, right, out there skiing. And it was starting to clear. And like a very good friend was like, right, come on, let's go, bring your kit. And, you've looked at the AVA report, you've noticed that it's been puking for days, but you're frothing.
Yeah.
And when I remember standing at the top of this pitch and being like, oh, I'm not sure about this, but was with a friend more experienced than me, who I trust, trusted and still to this day trust, like, with my life.
Did you have all, like, transceiver?
Yeah, fully kitted out.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, go on, give it a go. He went, fine, got down to the bottom. I went, and it's just like this, you know, when you stand in the sea and the waves are like, if you've just got your ankles in the sea and the sea's moving, but you're kind of staying still.
Yeah.
It was like that. But I was like, oh, it's not the sea, it's snow. And then just couldn't get out of it. Couldn't ski out of it. Very scary, very scary. And I had an airbag, and I pulled my airbag, and that was when it went from being like black to being white again. And I was like, right, I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay. Hit a tree. So, and then eventually hitting the tree actually probably was the best thing that could have happened, because it broke my fall. Because otherwise I was just going and going and going. There's nothing you can do. Hit this tree, stopped, and both of my legs were just weirdly not broken. One of my skis had stayed on, so it just kind of, the other had gone, but I'd hit the tree, so I just had this like big gash, which I didn't even feel at the time. But I couldn't move. My legs didn't really work, so I had to wait for this helicopter to come and winch me off the mountain.
Where was the other person you were with?
He was at the bottom, and he like took off his skis and literally sprinted up the mountain, like just to be like, are you okay? And I was okay, I was fine. Went off in this helicopter, which was horrendous. And then turned out I'd like just had this big gash in one leg, and then tore my like ACL on the other. So like injury wise, could have been way worse.
Could have been worse.
Way worse. I was really lucky. Yeah. Really lucky. But it was an experience that, just a turning point in your life. And I was like, oh, I'm not invincible, you know, because there is a certain, you know, you've done a few seasons, you've like done a few things, and you're like, oh yeah. And then it's, you need to be humbled every now and again, don't you? Yeah. And be like, actually, no, you're not in control of any of this. So I had a like long recovery after that. I think certainly didn't ski that winter. Skied a bit the next.
How do you reconcile your feelings for the mountains when something like that's happened? And so in one of our early seasons in Les Arcs, right at the end of the season, we lost a friend called Kiwi Trev.
That's horrible.
And it was,
I'm so sorry.
Well, I've thought about it a lot, and he was definitely in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was on his own. He went when he shouldn't have gone. Other people backed away. He was on like a short freestyle board, you know, quite heavy, you know, and it was like a whole bunch of bad.
Do you know what I always think though? Like, it's easy to be like, you made the wrong decision, but you made the best decision that you had that you could at the time. Yeah. And it's not an arrogance. It's not thinking you're better than it. It's just ignorance. Like that's, do you know, like that decision that your friend unfortunately, like horribly, sadly made was the best decision he could make at the time.
Yeah. But I remember looking up at the Aiguille Rouge, like, you know, I just cared about riding in the park at the time. So I kind of wasn't thinking about that. But I remember feeling angry towards
the mountain. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, what was the point? You know, why did you need to take him, sort of thing?
Why did you? Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you, you know, how was it getting back onto the mountain? Did you have any of those thoughts?
I just had a lot of fear and a lot of respect, which I had anyway, but like times a million. Like, you're not messing around with, this is so beyond your control.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got into snowboarding, was coming back from that injury. And what I loved about skiing was like free riding, off-piste, backcountry, that's what I loved. And I just had this fear of it. So I was like, right, channel that into, put your energy that you love for that into something else. So I was like, right, I'm going to get better at snowboarding. So I started snowboarding, and it hurt less for my knee as well. I was like, this is a win-win. So I just spent a few winters like cruising about. I used to go with my partner, and I'd be like, I'm killing it here. I'm catching up with him. Like, I'm doing really well. And then I'd realise he was going switch. I'd be like, damn it. That was, I remember it being on like over in Val d'Isère, them big wide blue runs. And I was like, it's all clicking. And then he'd like span around. I was like, shit. But yeah, so I just had everything that I had loved about skiing. I just had too much fear. I was too afraid. And like, I'd be on the side of a piste and be like, oh.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, get better at snowboarding. Do that instead. So that would have been, I don't know, 9 years ago, 10 years ago-ish. And then I think going back to what I said about you make decisions at the time with the knowledge that you have. And I was like, well, okay, you've just, like, don't be ignorant about it. Learn as much as you can.
Does Henry still do his avalanche
Yeah,
talks? Does he?
He does.
Fucking hell, I went to one of those.
Yeah.
In Dick's T-Bar in 94. He must be pushing on a bit.
Yeah, he must be. Still going. Yeah, just learn more. And because I knew, like, I don't know, I've never been like very good in the park. I love cruising about, but I love like being in the mountains. I love being away from a lift, like touring, or like that's what I love about being in the mountains.
I guess this place gets pretty busy throughout the winter as well.
Oh yeah, and you just want to escape it. You just go like little mission off the back. And I was like, right, if you want to get back into that, then you address your fear through like knowledge and learning and just experience and pushing through fear sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Which, probably the past few years has been, okay, you feel scared, like you are scared, feel scared, rationalize it with what you know and what's like fact rather than mind stories going.
Yeah.
Like slope like that isn't going to have that. Do you know what I mean? Like rationalize it.
Man, I know exactly. I don't know if I've talked about, but any listeners who are listening, I don't know if I've talked about this before, then do excuse me. But I was stood, we got to Lax last year for the Open, and we were a couple of days early. Called Ed Lee to see where he was, because I knew he was there. And he's like, yeah, right, let's meet. I've got a run for us to do.
Yeah.
And literally, it's like the Hollywood line in Lax. Like you can see it from everywhere. It's off the top of the glass. You know, there's obviously the glacier on this side, then it's rocks on that side, and he's like, yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And Duncan, who I was with, was like, yeah, I might not do that. I don't know that I'm quite ready for that. And it was like the first turns of the day.
Yeah.
And I find myself up there. It's just me and Ed. I haven't got any avalanche kit on.
Oh, geez, yeah.
He's like, it's fine. I did this yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then he drops in.
Yeah.
And then you're stood there on your own.
On your own.
And all of a sudden, there's like my wife on one shoulder going, what the fuck are you doing? And then there's me sort of like, well, I've done this sort of thing before. It's been a while. First turns of the holiday, first turns of the week. Yeah. And this is where I'm at. But, you have done it before. You've got the knowledge. You know where to go and what to look out for. And you have that.
Yeah.
You're like,
you've just got to rationalise it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm here on my own and I can't really go back now. So I've just got to kind of keep those things in mind and then go. Yeah. Yeah. And it was obviously
and
fun.
Just and
try and enjoy it as well.
Enjoy it, yeah. I think that's...
I mean, I haven't had the experiences you've had, so it's not as bad, I should imagine.
No, but fear is fear, isn't it? And it's an emotion, and you can either let it consume you and stand there panicking and being like, I can't go, or you can be like, that's how I'm feeling. What are the circumstances? Am I, like, what I always say to myself when I'm scared is like, you've done it before. Like, you've ridden something like this before. You're physically able to do it.
Yeah.
It's only your mind going, you're scared. Oh, what if you fall? Oh, what if this happens? Yeah, and that's, like, when I do like a bit of like mindfulness stuff as well. And that's essentially mindfulness, isn't it? It's not letting the stories in your mind take over.
The thoughts come in and you let them pass.
Let them go. Don't let them dictate what you're about to do. I get it. I was riding right at the start when it just opened. Might have been opening day. Went with Will and a few mates. And I get quite vertigo-y as well.
Oh, gee.
And we were walking up this like upper ridge. And I was just like, oh, God. And you've just got to be like, just take a step. You can take one step, take another step. Okay, another step. Quite the metaphor for life. One step at a time.
Turning this podcast into philosophy. Like a self-help podcast.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's, I can't remember what the question was. How you, like your relationship to something that's caused you like pain and I don't know. Yeah, like, and a few years after I was in that accident, a instructor who I used to work with at the ESF was killed, pretty much at like a similar pitch.
Yeah.
And it is that thing of, like an anger of like, how could you, how is that fair? How can the mountains do that? But I think ultimately anyone who puts themselves in those situations is aware that there is sometimes a very small risk of that, but there is always a risk. Do you know, and can you rationalise the risk? I don't know. Are you willing to take the chance? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I definitely know people who would take a risk, and if that was a fatal risk, they'd die doing what they love, you know? I don't think I'm at that point. I think I'm definitely at a point where...
No, I like... One of the best bits about Days on the Mountain is...
Coming home.
and celebrating that with the people that you've been up with, rather than...
Yeah.
Dealing with tragedy.
Exactly, yeah.
But, and even you say dying, it's a... I don't know, this is quite heavy.
It's quite heavy, I know.
It's a traumatic, it's not
a
peaceful death,
no,
is it? If you die in the mountains, it's probably a traumatic death.
Yeah.
And surely nobody wants
that. Nobody wants that.
Even if you are doing what you love.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone would like to slip away in their sleep rather than being buried.
Yeah.
Because the last moments of that can't be fun.
No, don't think so.
I mean, I've only ever been in a tiny one. And even so, like, it's crazy how powerless you become.
It's insane.
Like this one, you know, it was like must have moved 20 metres. It was just a slab that sort of slid down a little bit.
It's like being in a cement
and you're just
mixer.
Like, I can't, there's no ways up. I can't push against anything to sort of right myself.
Yeah.
And then a bit comes over and it goes dark and it's like, oh shit. Yeah. And luckily, like, you know, it was all like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
And, but yeah, it's incredibly, it just takes all your power away from you and you are just just in there.
Yeah, it's amazing. I felt like I was in a cement mixer. That was all I could think about. I was like, I have no control over any part of my body.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't move anything. I'm being spun around by something really heavy. But then, gives you this another level of respect for it. Like, you know, you're saying it was tiny and you were fine, but still you're completely powerless.
Yeah, I mean, on one season, I think it was my wife's first season.
Yeah.
And there was, you know, a lot of Kiwis around, and you know, everyone was a bit gung ho, and I was always like, no, we're not going there.
Yeah.
She was like, well, everyone else is going there, and I'm like, yeah,
No.
but I've looked at aspects, and I'm not really happy, and she was always like, why are you more reserved than everyone else? And it's like, well, because exactly that.
Exactly that, yeah.
And now you're with me, like there's...
Yeah. Yeah, I want to
like your mum already
on the sofa
doesn't
tonight.
like me. Yeah. I think I want to make that phone call.
Yeah, God. Yeah. No, you're right. The best part of riding is, coming home and taking your boots off and having a cup of tea, isn't it? So...
just boiled down the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the point.
To taking your boots off at the end of the day.
Exactly. Taking them off and sitting on the sofa in your thermals for a little bit. That's my favourite bit.
So what keeps you here? Like, what does your life look like? I know you do lots of different things and you've just moved down to San Francisco, but what keeps you here and not
back
exploring new, well, I mean, I can understand, no disrespect to Bolton, but like what keeps you here, you know,
here specifically?
Because what I'm enjoying now, like I spent years and years and years in Les Arcs, and now I get to go. Luckily, I can be like, oh, I can go to Switzerland, or you know, can go to Austria or whatever, and I really enjoy exploring new places.
Yeah.
And I often, you know, I think when I interviewed Will last year, I was like, what keeps you, I know you've obviously got your business here, but like, what, do you not find, you know, over familiarity or?
Yeah.
Like what stops you thinking, do you know what, I just want to go somewhere completely new and have a whole new, have that experience of exploring again afresh?
I think it's community. And I think here, I mean, it's probably the same, any like small community of like-minded people, like just have the best friends and the best friends to go riding with, excuse me. And yeah, it's like, I'm the kind of person who could be like, I'm just going to go here and there and do this and da-da-da. Whereas my partner is very like grounded and like content where he is.
What does he do?
He works on wind turbines. He's a wind turbine technician.
Oh, really?
So he basically isn't here for most of the summer. He's up in Scandinavia, and then in the winters he comes back and just does 2 days a week in a cafe so he can go snowboarding, which is quite nice. But yeah, he's I think if we weren't together, I probably would be a bit more pinball-y all over the world.
Right.
But I feel like I've got roots here.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got roots and friendships and community. My business is here. Like I've worked hard to create a business, like my own business, you know, doing my own things, that I think I'd be quite nervous to go and try and do that somewhere else.
Start from scratch again, which is...
That's it. And I think like potentially when I was younger, and you know, you're not bothered what you're doing, are you? Just go and do any old job here, there or everywhere or anywhere. Whereas the idea of doing that now doesn't appeal to me, going to, I don't know, some other resort and waitressing. I don't want, like, no disrespect to anyone who does that, but it's not what I want to do anymore.
No, sometimes you've been there and done it and you don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
I feel like that about most things.
Yeah, exactly. Again, is it age? I think we're lucky now in that we are able to travel a bit during the winter.
Right.
So we went to Japan last year. We're going back this year. Because I do a bit of work with Neil, I get to go on his trips.
Right.
So I kind of scratched that itch of going and seeing new places.
Yeah.
And then coming home. So, yeah, I think it's an amazing community, and you do I feel very at home in this valley. Like, it feels like home now. So.
Yeah, it's funny that you call it a valley. I think when I was here, and we probably left just as it was starting to happen, and I guess with social media and sort of communications have got easier. And I sort of feel sad in a way that we sort of missed this opportunity, but I think things are getting a bit more joined up.
Definitely, yeah.
Whereas it used to be like, you're in Bourg, you're in Saint-Foy,
used to even be like,
Tignes.
you're in Tignes, you're in Val.
Yeah.
Like, we don't speak.
Yeah.
I think that's like one good thing that has come out of the horrendous housing crisis that happens in this whole valley.
Yeah. And
people are priced out of living in Tignes and Val, therefore move down into Saint-Foy, say, Bourg. And it's kind of spreading a bit more in that sense.
Yeah, so everyone...
Which is nice.
Yeah, so you get to... These communities are getting
interwoven. Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of feel sad that we never had that. I mean, but I guess we could have worked harder to make it happen.
Yeah. But I suppose you've got your like ready-made life where you are, haven't you? So why would you diverge from that?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, and you sort of find the mountains that suit you as well.
Yeah, and familiarity is quite nice.
Familiarity is probably too
comfy.
cozy.
Yeah, a bit comfy.
Good to put yourself out there from time to time.
But it's pretty nice.
How did I don't want to dwell on Brexit, but obviously for the season air community out here, it's had a massive...
huge. Like, I think, like, me at university, going and doing a season because my mum told me to, you just can't really do that as easily anymore. All I did was email a few companies, get a job and go and do it.
Yeah.
Now you've got like visas and French laws and can only spend a certain amount of time in Europe, and it's massively affected it, and it's shit. So like, it's just, I think it's a terrible thing.
I mean, so there's only, I can't remember who I was talking to, but they was, I think there are some companies that will do the paperwork for you because they're so desperate to get people.
Yeah.
But also it's changed how, like, you mentioned getting 50 quid a week.
Yeah.
Like people
That's
are actually,
probably a good thing,
people are actually kind of paid properly, but then
yeah.
that has the knock-on effect of everything's got more expensive because the overheads are higher.
The overheads are higher, exactly. And it's, I mean, I'm sure if you were to talk to, like, all the old big tour ops, like your Mark Warners and Ski Worlds and all of them.
Yeah.
Like, they used to have like hundreds of staff, and now they have like a handful.
Yeah.
So you just think those opportunities are just taken away from young people these days. And there is ways around it, and you can get visas, and, if you get a job, you are paid properly. But the opportunities aren't as readily available as they used to be.
Could
put people off, exactly.
And probably the people that would benefit most from being
exactly. Yeah.
Seeing a whole different world,
seeing a whole
new opportunities.
Yeah, completely eye-opening, and yeah, I think it's sad. Well, it's changed the like British season air scene, I would say.
Yeah.
Alongside just rising costs. Like you said, you'd come out, maybe work, maybe not.
I mean, we just started a business by just going, here's a thing that we're going to do.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to come and stay with us?
Yeah.
Like, that was...
that easy.
That was that, pretty much that easy.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't, maybe we wouldn't have started if the level of admin to it was like, man, this is going to be a swamp.
This is going to be... Yeah. I think it's just a lot more complicated these days, and it's really, really expensive to be here, to live here. And I think if you were to come and be like a ski bum, you'd need to have a good 10 grand in your pocket, which, most 19-year-olds probably don't have.
No, not at all. Has it changed who's coming here as well? Do you think?
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of Irish people because they have Irish passports.
I've got an Irish passport.
Oh, you lucky bugger. I'm one generation away from it.
Are you? Oh,
so I'm trying to get a French one, but see how that goes. Yeah, lots of Irish, just fewer Brits, really.
But in terms of holiday makers the people that you're seeing?
I think that's more, probably a knock-on effect of Brexit, but just the cost of it these days. I don't think a cheap ski holiday exists anymore.
No.
So yeah, it's, like we were saying, everything's a 5-star hotel now, and there's no cheaper options, really.
I mean, is that just a case here? So basically you just have to check out resorts that you might not have looked at before?
Possibly, yeah. Like Eastern Europe and, I don't know. I think the French Alps, particularly kind of this valley and then 3 valleys and those kind of areas, they're only going in one direction, which is luxury, expensive, elite.
Yeah, which is a shame because it'll kill.
Yeah.
They'll sort of become a bit desolate.
Yeah, soulless.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a walk around Val d'Isère last night. I've been there for 30 years. And it definitely...
It's different.
Definitely different. There's no grubby...
No.
People knocking around.
It's all shiny.
We saw a guy, or maybe it was a girl, I don't remember. She had a big white puffer jacket on with a chihuahua in the top pocket.
Oh, I love that. I love chihuahuas.
But I was I don't remember seeing these people here 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And even then it was considered kind of like the
elite,
sort of swankier ski resort, but it had all its cast and characters, whereas everything's very shiny there.
Everything is shiny, yeah. Yeah, but then I think underneath all of that, there still is a soul, and there still is your community, and there's still a community of people who have chosen to live here despite the fact that it's very expensive. And
how do you feel about the Folie Douce? The listeners can't see the look. Yeah.
It serves a purpose.
Yeah.
It's.
I only asked because we were above it yesterday.
Oh yeah.
As we were sort of doing the last run down.
Yeah.
And Jim said, what do you feel about this? And I've been trying to figure out when I've only seen it on social media, I'm like, this is just
bonkers.
Insane. Who's enjoying this?
Who goes there?
Feels like a thing that has appeared for people to take videos and put them on social media.
Yeah, I think you might be right. No, I think it serves a purpose. And each to their own, isn't it? Some people want to come on holiday, wear a white jacket with a chihuahua in the pocket and go to the Folie Douce and drink ridiculously overpriced drinks and listen to really loud music.
Yeah.
And some people want to be as far away from that as possible and just enjoy the quiet of the mountains.
Yeah.
And it's not my thing, at all.
I'm just wondering if seasonaires kind of buy into that, or whether it's not really a seasonaire thing.
Probably my first, but that's my personality. I don't like loud things. I do like loud things sometimes, but it's just not my thing. But I think for seasonaires, it is a thing.
Yeah.
And I think this but the seasonaire thing is sit on the hill a little bit up, listen to the loud music, and drink beers out your backpack.
Right. Okay.
Just because it's quite expensive. But that's not to say I've been there a few times on like hen do's and things and had loads of fun.
Yeah.
I just don't. What I love about the mountains is peace and nature, and that's like completely juxtaposes that. So, but that's me.
Okay.
You might speak to someone else who's like, I fucking love it.
I think I do know a few people that fucking love it.
Yeah. It's just not my thing. But some people love it, and it does very well.
Yeah, well, it seems to be. They're everywhere now, aren't
they're everywhere.
What haven't we covered? What don't I know about you that we should talk about?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
How do you see growing old?
Oh,
I mean, I don't know how old you are, and I'm assuming you're not very old.
I'm 39.
Okay, so that's fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's reassuring.
50s are...
People keep telling people like, "Oh, you're still young." I'm like, "Am I though?"
But like, how, you know? So yeah, maybe. But obviously, you know, seasonaires stay the same age. Obviously, I'm gonna assume that sort of your peer group gets smaller as time goes on. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like I do feel here age. It's just a number, but I do feel like here it very much is just a number.
Right.
I feel like my friends go from like mid-20s to late 50s.
To Will. Just throw a bit of shade on Will.
Yo, can't do that. But yeah, like I don't think of Will as a 50-year-old man. I think of Will as my friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Whereas maybe in another context, I'd be like, oh, he's 50, that's a bit weird.
Well, I think at home, so I can totally recognise that. I think at home, when you, like, you know, you sort of fall into patterns. So, like, what age your kids are at school. And all these things sort of bracket you. Whereas I guess those things don't impact as much out here. I feel like your age is just like very insignificant. Yeah.
But obviously we are all getting older, and your habits change, your energy changes.
Well, like Cool Bus Rob yesterday, we were just chatting. I mean, I've known his business since it started.
Yeah.
Because he started the same year as we started the chalet.
Oh wow.
And you know, he was talking about like the next few years and how he's juicing it, and he talked about, you know, then we'll be into retirement, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I'm not anywhere near there. Sort of, I started my career 10 years ago, and I'm sort of full bore into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just sort of got me thinking last night. I was like, what does growing old in a ski environment look like?
For me, I love being in the mountains. I think as long as I can snowboard, and I think I've got one very dodgy knee, one slightly dodgy knee. If they pack in, I don't think I'd want to be in this environment, because I just want to go snowboarding, and if I couldn't, that would upset me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think as long as you're happy here and you're still enjoying being here, why not? But I also think it would be a really harsh place to be an old person.
Yeah.
Like your aches and pains would be intensified by the cold and slipping on ice, and I don't really want to think about it.
I mean, what's mad is our landlady down in Bourg, and loads of people know her because lots of people lived in the apartments she sort of looked after.
Yeah.
It's called Madame Morel.
Yeah.
And I mean, it felt to us that she was old when we started coming here.
Yeah, she was probably like 40.
She couldn't have been that old, but she certainly looked it. And anyway, we because my wife speaks good French, we actually sort of got to know her quite well.
Yeah.
And she used to like us because we'd go and chat with her and not just be like, pay the rent and get out of there. And she was saying that she's lived in Bourg all her life.
Yeah.
She's never been up the mountain.
Wow.
And I just think, well, that is insane. Like, how how would your curiosity not get
take
the better
you
of
there?
you?
Yeah.
And obviously, when we were over here at Easter, me and my daughter went to Bourg just for a few hours just to sort of show her around because she'd not seen it before.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, let's go and see if she's still there. She was still, I mean, she is really old now.
Yeah.
But it's just mad that you could live somewhere like this and not have any interest.
Not be bothered by it. Yeah.
And then deal with. So
People,
one thing, like the UK gets some adverse weather and everybody tries to live their lives as normally.
Yeah.
And then, moans about, I've been stuck in traffic for 10 hours or whatever. Yeah. Whereas here, when the weather's bad, you have to submit to the weather and the mountains dictate how your day's going to go sometimes. Yeah,
like the road's
if
closed,
there's a road closed, well,
like,
what are you going to do?
Just there's one road in and out, so you're not going.
But you can't get stressed about it because that's part and parcel of living here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know where my train of thought and point of this little ramble's going at all. But to grow, to live here and grow old here and deal with all those adverse things, it just feels like there might be easier options. But
I think so. But then it's like I don't have kids, but majority of my friends have kids.
Yeah.
And you just think like, what an incredible place for a kid to grow up. And just what you're giving those children through their upbringing of they go skiing, they go snowboarding, they make snowmen, all the stuff that you love when you were a kid, they just do that every day.
Yeah.
And so I think in that sense, growing older and families and again, why would you not? If you're enjoying it, why would you not? And you're able to just keep doing it and pass that on to the next generation. And then when it becomes too harsh and too cold and your knees aren't working, move to the beach.
So you mentioned your mum before. You mentioned her a couple of times. What does she think about your life out here?
I think now, 20 years on from my first winter, she's it's pretty cool. There was definitely a point where, probably mid-20s, when she was you're going to get a real job then, come on. Yeah.
Real jobs don't sound fun.
That I would say, throughout my 20s was very much all my mates from home, oh, when are you coming home? When are you going to get a real job?
Yeah.
I was that's not real either. None of it's real. And I think it took me a while to create the life that I want to live here.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of crappy jobs. I've done a lot of jobs that I don't enjoy. And I've been fortunate in the past, more recent years, that I've been able to create a path and a career and a life that I'm able to sustain financially, but that also is really rewarding and brings me a lot of joy. And I feel like now I'm too old to be, just do whatever job because it means I can go snowboarding. I need more than that.
Yeah.
I love snowboarding, but I also need things around it as another reason to be.
Is that
here.
an unusual standpoint from a lot of it seems like a lot of people, they end up building in the summer when they're probably not builders or ever had any interest in building and they just do whatever to stay here.
Yeah.
But to actually forge a career that you want to do here.
Yeah.
Is that unusual? Or do you see that more?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just when you're younger, you are just I'll do whatever to live this life.
Yeah.
And then you get fed up of doing things you don't want to do. And it's different people, isn't it, as well, and different personalities. For me, it's important to be doing something work-wise that is rewarding and I enjoy. And it's an absolute dream that I fit that around going snowboarding pretty much every day. That's amazing. And other people find other ways of doing that.
Yeah.
I think.
So I think we're sort of coming to the natural point of what, like what does snowboarding mean to you? I mean, you can obviously include your years skiing in this as well. But what does it give you that you haven't found anywhere else, or what does it mean to you?
I just love it. It's I think interesting. Like, I loved skiing, and I do still like going skiing, but snowboarding is just so much more fun. And I feel like...
Have you got any idea why that is? I've obviously got very strong thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think it's more... You can do more stuff that's fun. Like, skiing is fun to go fast, and it's fun to ride powder, and maybe if I was more like freestyle orientated, I would feel differently. But I feel like on a snowboard you can be not very good and still do really fun stuff.
Yeah.
Do little like, and there's always something to learn. You can do your little like flat bandy stuff.
Yeah.
And like riding powder is, if you can do that on a snowboard and you choose to still do it on skis, you need your head checked, in my opinion. Like, it's so much better on a snowboard. Sorry, skiers.
Is the correct answer.
Yeah, it's no offence to skiers, but I just think if you're able to do it on a snowboard, why wouldn't you? Like, it's just fun. It's really fun. It brings me joy. I love the mountains, like, so much. I just love being in the mountains. And yeah, snowboarding's great.
Okay, and then why should somebody who maybe hasn't been to the mountains before, why should they try and have this experience? Or if somebody who has let the dust settle on snowboarding for a long time, what are they missing they should come back for?
Just come back and do it, and they'll have the answer. It's just so fun. And I feel like as you do get older, fun becomes less of a priority, and like joy becomes less of a priority. And it's something that is like pure joy. Going snowboarding is just fun. It's really good fun. So do it and you'll be happy.
There you go. Just do it and you'll be happy. Is there any other reason to go snowboarding than that? I mean, there are plenty of reasons to go snowboarding, which we get at the end of every episode. But really, when it comes down to it, do it and you'll be happy. Thank you, Hannah, for sparing me a morning of your season and being such a fun, interesting guest to have on and reliving that horrific avalanche experience and just being open. Considering we'd never met before, most people we get on the podcast, or I get on the podcast, there's some sort of connection with them in one way or another, or mutual friend, well, there is mutual friends with Hannah, obviously. But, there's normally a bit of background or kind of I've done the research. So it was a real pleasure just to sit down with someone you've never met before, that is a snowboarder, and then talk about snowboarding and find loads of common ground and ask interesting questions and hear their story and hopefully become friends. I do think snowboarding is a great vehicle for bringing people together, and I guess that's the premise of the camp we're putting on, but maybe we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, thank you, Hannah, for having the time for me. Thank you, John and Will at the Dragon Lodge, for putting me up for a couple of nights. It is massively appreciated as always. And now that we've done it twice, let's make it a tradition every year that the first turns of the season are made up at the Dragon Lodge in Tignes, which is a great place. If you haven't stayed there yet and you want a great place to go and stay, if you go to Tignes, or if you're just open to anywhere, then why not go and give them a visit? They will make you feel very welcome. There's always plenty of tea. And obviously you can hear episodes with Will and John from last season. Go and check them out. So yeah, Cold Snap done. Big ups to anyone shredding in the UK. I oh man, I want it to snow here. I'm on the we're on the Brighton side of the Downs, but we did a walk on New Year's Day with my eldest, and whenever we go there, I'm always looking for lines, and it's like, that would be a good spot. That's steep enough, but sadly, no snow, and now it's 10 degrees, so certainly no snow on the horizon. If you're listening this week, the big thing this week is the Lax Open. Sadly, I'm not there. Kind of life got in the way a little bit. Couldn't make it over there. But it is on, and it's going to be probably the big warm-up for the Olympic Games. Tim and Ed doing the commentary. I think you can see their commentary live on... I think if you just go to lax.com, you'll find Tim and Ed's commentary. I'm guessing if it's like other years, kind of Tuesday, Wednesdays, warm-up day, Thursday's probably qualies, Friday final, slopestyle during the day, and obviously the big half-pipe final in the evening. I mean, that half-pipe, I've not dropped into it. I have no business dropping into it. It is absolutely mind-numbingly massive. And so when you see what the riders are getting out of it, considering it's bullets, right, you need to have the sharpest edges to even get up the walls, let alone do anything out the top of them. So full respect. So it's going to be, I think everyone's going to be kind of showing their colours this year. So sad not to be there, but I will be watching it on the live stream. And I think Ski Sunday will probably have highlights this week of it, and they'll rush and edit together. But go and watch the live stream. Just go and watch it. I mean, I think in the final, the half pipe, they only have like 8 riders, so it whizzes through. But they have thousands of people, like 10, 20,000 people lining the pipe. They put on special lifts. People stay up there after riding, obviously get hammered. The atmosphere is incredible. It's quite amusing watching people because you can actually ride down, but some of it's in the light and some of it's in the dark. And watching pissed up punters come down on their skis or snowboards at like 9 o'clock at night after a 4-hour drinking session on the mountain is pretty funny as well. But yeah, gutted not to be in Lax this year, but that's where you can watch it. And I'll be watching it too. Maybe there's a way of doing some sort of watching party. I don't know. But yeah, that'll be tomorrow if you're listening to this on the Thursday that this drops. What else is going on? Another flurry of bookings for the camp. So we've only got a few spaces left. Talking about, as I was mentioning earlier, about, snowboarding bringing people together. That is really the idea of the camp. If you're on your own, you haven't got a crew, and you want to go riding, but you sort of like riding with people is better than riding on your own, in my opinion. Maybe nice to do a few runs on your own, but it's a crew sport, really. And if you haven't got much of a crew, or your crew can't make it this year, then this is what this camp is all about. It's all about bringing people together, making sure every day you've got a crew to ride with. We might try and do some like whole crew days, but it's certainly not like you're not beholden to stay with everyone. But I think it's going to be a cool place to meet people, to hang out with people. You're all snowboarders, you've all got that in common. I'm sure there'll be a million other things that you find in common with each other. And obviously we'll be trying to make that happen with a few sort of communal things. So yeah, if you are interested, we do have a few spaces left, but it is getting booked up. So please don't sleep on it. There'll be links to the show. There'll be links to the little website we've got, which has just got the price and the info about what you get and what you need to book yourself. Basically, you get everything except for flights and transfers. So once you get there, we're going to look after you. We're snowboarders. Me and Kate, I used to run a chalet business in Bourg Saint-Maurice, did that for 12 years. We had chalets in Morzine and in Montchevan, which is just below La Coche, so we know the area really, really well. Kate worked for me for a season. She got back to snowboarding last year after a bit of a break. and just said to me, I want to do more snowboarding. And that was kind of the genesis of the idea to put a camp on. At the same time, I'd been staying over at Chris Moran's house, where there's always a steady stream of people coming through. So you've always got a ready crew. You know, if you're on your own, you can always be like, who wants to go up the mountain? There's always someone to go up with. So at the same time, I was thinking, well, what about if you don't have Chris Moran's house to go and stay in? Like, what if you haven't got these things that I'm lucky enough to have when I go away? And that was really the idea behind the camp, is to give people, we've got a group booked in, we've got some single people booked in. It's not exclusively for the lone wolves, but if your crew can't make it this year for whatever reason, or you just find yourself you haven't got a crew, then give us a shout, get booked on, because it's going to be good times. That's what it is all about, is good times, memorable days on the mountain, just as much snowboarding as our legs can take. Après beers in the sunshine afterwards, go and sit in the sauna. We're going to have some footage of the chalet coming very soon, and just as good times as possible, born out of our love of snowboarding. That's what it's all about. So if you fancy that, give me a shout. We've got some merch as well, t-shirts and hoodies. If you're interested in a t-shirt and a hoodie, or a hoodie, then give me a shout. You can get the email, it'll be in the show notes below, or just remember, thank you snowboarding, THANK, letter U, snowboarding @gmail.com. What else is going on? Send a shout out to our friends at the Snowboard Asylum. I'm pretty certain they're all going to be out at shops first try testing next season's kit. Can you believe that? It's January. And the upper echelons of the Snowboard Asylum will be looking into next season's kit already, making orders, testing out what's good. They've also booked me to come and DJ at Spring Break in the spring, where, again, we'll be trying new boards. Going to try something new this year, where I'm going to be taking requests, what boards you want to know about. And I'm going to be then getting people to ride them. I'll ride some maybe, but I'll be getting some of our friends who are there to go ride them for you and then film a little video clip, especially for you. So by the end of the season, if you've got anything you like the look of for next season and you've sort of seen a preview of it, then we'll be doing that. But more about that later on in the season. It's only January. We've got a way to go. Obviously, thank you to our friends at Burton, Dan and Lizzie. They're going to be supplying a bespoke test centre for our camp, which means we'll be asking you some questions, getting your preferences, and then we'll be bringing out boards that we think that you'll love, especially for you, which is pretty unique. Don't think people have done that before. There's going to be step-on boots and bindings for you to try out as well. So, step-on bindings for everyone to try out. Be interesting to see how generally people take to them. Who else? Thank you to Gemma at 420. Gemma is someone else that used to work for us out at the Chill Chalet, our old chalet company. She does a range of CBD teas, which just help kind of calm the anxiety a little bit, or calm the noise, should we say. I quite like them. They're delicious, and they sort of just help me focus a little bit, really. So if you like them, again, links in the show notes. So Hannah's tune for this week's episode was The Age of Consent by New Order from the Forum movie, That, which is a seminal snowboard movie. Obviously, Forum back in the day, putting together big releases with their stellar team. So that's where that tune came from. I haven't sorted out the Spotify playlist because I don't agree with Spotify. But Forums, that will be up on our YouTube channel, which you can go and find at Thank You Snowboarding. There's also that video on there of me making a snowboard down at Duke Snowboards back in December, which hopefully that's really interesting. I've had lots of nice comments about that. And so that's where you'll find that too. I think that's it. Lax Open, it's a big thing, so get watching that. We'll be back next week, probably be talking about the highlights of that and what we think about what's going to happen at the Olympics. I've been rambling now a little bit, so I'm going to go. Right, see you next week. Thank you, snowboarding. Peace.